that's what we're going to do today. Can you just take the jacket off, please? And if you chewing, can you just empty your mouth? Do the chewing in school? More? No. You just have to go. Come out. Come outside just now.
Ask him to tell you what happened.
What happened?
Remember, your hands are open and not clenched.
What happened?
You requested that I abstain from chewing gum, and I attempted to explain my reasons for chewing said product. You seemed to be somewhat irked by my desire to discuss the situation and requested that I leave the classroom to further discussion outside. I waited for a whole 3 minutes for you to arrive and am now fully prepared for the conversation which will now follow.
Establishing a timeline is very important.
I'm just trying to establish a timeline here.
The history of chewing gum dates back to the ancient Greeks, who chewed mastiche, a resin of the mastic tree. In 1848, John B. Curtis made and sold the first commercial chewing gum called the State of Maine Pure Spruce Gum. The history of Orbit gum dates back to World War II. In an effort to support the troops, Wrigley shipped all the production of juicy fruit and Wrigley spearmint and double mint overseas to the armed forces. Since they were no longer available on the civilian market, Wrigley's began production of a new gum called Orbit.
Then ask, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking at this time?
At the time when you spoke to me, I had completed both the initial task you had set and the task which I think you felt might extend lesser individuals. And I was concerning myself instead with the knock-on effect of the activity in the eastern markets on the opening prices of a dollar on Wall Street.
Then ask them, who do you think's been affected by this?
Who was affected here?
Without doubt, the greatest effect of this disruption has been the loss of time which both you and I have spent in a learning environment. I have not learned anything in the past few minutes, apart from the fact there were 158 ceiling tiles along this corridor, and that the voice of the lift sounds a little bit like my Latin tutor. If I lose my train of thought during a lesson, there is a chance that I will fail to maximise my potential, and this could lead to catastrophic results, such as failure to win the Ducks as a school, or a field medal at Oxford. Who else was affected? You mean there's other people in there?
Ask them what they need to feel better right now about the situation.
I suggest that in future I provide a note from home to allow me to either move more rapidly through the lunch queue, or I will allow to chew gum so as to retain an appropriate pH in my mouth. I suggest that you do your best to rectify any issues you have with me more speedily, so as not to interfere with my learning. And I also suggest that you might want to apologise to me, so I can be restored to the classroom free of any suggestion of guilt, which may temporarily interfere with my sense of well-being and general importance. Okay, mouths closed, eyes on me, please. Tracy, that's a lovely jacket. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You chewing gum. My class. Aye you are. Put it in the bin. You put it in the bin and I'm getting Mrs. Harris up here and she'll sort you out. Right. What? Right, out. Now. Outside. We'll sort this outside. Go. Yeah! Chew in my class!
Ask them what happened.
What happened?
Don't be judgmental. Remember, your hands need to be open, not clenched.
What happened?
You told me to empty my mouth. I said no. You said go outside. I said no. You said you're going to get Mrs. Harris. So I came outside.
Ask what they're thinking.
And what were you thinking?
I was thinking Mr. Rushton's an uptight strawberry git.
Echoing.
Mr. Rushton's an uptight strawberry git.
He thinks he's great.
Ask them how they felt.
How did that make you feel? What did you feel?
I felt the softness in my hair and
The softness of your hair.
the tension in my skin.
Don't forget who's been affected.
Who was affected by that?
My wee pal Davy's affected because he doesn't go in very well with folk with me. And the cleaners will be affected because I knocked over my pencil sharpenings as I was going out the room. And that wee swatty boy will be really affected because he's now, if I'm not doing that, he's going to have to learn about Gandhi. And I suppose I'll get an X in my timetable, and I'll be affected because I'll not get any pocket money this week. That means that the economy will be affected because I'll not be able to spend my money at the shop. So the boy in the shop, he'll not be happy, and he's going to go home in a rage because the amount of bound pressure onto his wife and kids, and I suppose that might increase taxes because he's going to end up in the dole, and everybody will end up paying more, and I suppose we'll just slump further into a recession.
Ask what needs to happen now to make everything better.
And what needs to be done to sort this problem out?
Well, I think you need to let me walk back into the room with my head held high, and then you need to come back in at the back of me and look like you've given me such a hard time, but the two of you just really just need to go back in there and just let each other go on with things, because, you know, that's it. And I think you need to chill out a bit about chewing gum.
No. Give me it. It's okay.